All right, welcome everyone to the Town of Stellarton Council meeting, November 14th, 2022. We're starting a little bit late because we had a public hearing. I apologize for the lateness. We're here at the Stellarton Council Chambers. The first item is the approval of the agenda. Is there any change or additions?
Yes, Your Worship, I would like to add after number 8, 339 South 4th Street, dangerous and unsightly motion.
Okay, so make that number 9. Town-owned trees 10, open forum 11, next council meeting 12, adjourned 13. Is there any other additions or changes? Can I have a motion then, please?
So move, Your Worship.
Second that.
Moved by Councillor Pence, seconded by Councillor Wand. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Contrary minded, motion carried. Thank you. Next is the approval of the minutes from October 11th and November 7th. It was a special council meeting. There's two sets of minutes. They're both attached. They're both distributed electronically. Is there any errors or omissions?
So move as written, Your Worship.
I'll second that.
Moved by Councillor Pence, seconded by Councillor Campbell. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Contrary minded, motion carried. Nancy, thank you. Is there any business arising from the minutes? Okay, hearing none, we'll move on to item 4, reports from staff. 4A is Chief Mark Hoback, Stellarton Police Service. We had a police commission meeting last week. Went through the report. Is there any questions on the report? Another relatively busy month. There's some notable events. Chris Sampson attended the Law Enforcement Torch Run. Chief Hoback attended the 40th Annual Nova Scotia Fallen Peace Officers. And Sergeant Venus spoke to the Chief last NSCC about policing the community. And they're on foot or bike patrol for 25 hours in October. Okay, if that could have a motion, please.
So move.
Second.
Moved by Deputy Mayor Knight, seconded by Councillor Wand. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Contrary minded, most carried and answered. Thank you. Item 4B is Fire Chief Mike O'Sullivan. The report's included. Is there any questions? It's a relatively quiet month. Could I have a motion to accept, please?
So move.
Moved by Deputy Mayor Knight, seconded by Councillor Pence. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Contrary minded, most carried and answered. Thank you. 4C is Paige Clark, Marketing Communications. The report's included. Is there any questions or comments? I noticed, go ahead.
No quiet.
The field signage. Do you know if they'll be going up before this, or it'll be next year?
The signs are here, are in. It's just depending on Public Works schedule.
Okay, thank you. And there's
Fiona has put a delay on a lot of things.
Your Worship, Alzheimer's must be setting in here, but sorry for interrupting you. But I wanted to add to the to the agenda bylaw for fire department.
It's too late.
It's too late to add. Okay.
Can't change it down. Sorry. And there's some Stellarton swag now. What do we have there? Water bottles, kit bags.
We have kit bags, mugs, sunglasses, skipping ropes for kids. It's a lot of stuff that Paige will be showing off soon.
Great, that'll help the branding. Thank you. Questions or comments? If not, can I have a motion, please?
So move.
Second.
Moved by Deputy Mayor Knight, seconded by Councillor Pence. All those in favor are saying aye. Aye. Contrary minded, motion carried and answered. Thank you. 4D is Blaine Murray, the engineer. His reports included both the engineering, public works, and the water utility. Questions? I'll note that the residential water meter is about 10% complete, according to the engineer, that project. Marie Street's 85% complete. High Street's about 90%. And Park Street's about 90%. So they're all almost done, which is good because we're entering in the cold season. If there's no questions or comments, can I have a motion?
So move.
Moved by Deputy Mayor Knight, second by Councillor Pence. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Contrary minded, motion carried. Thank you. 4E, Noah Delory, Active Living Coordinator. Reports included. Any questions or comments on that? I'll just mention that the Volunteer of the Year Awards in Halifax, which is in Dartmouth, was postponed until November 7th due to the hurricane. So that would have happened by now. Just happened last week. And with that, I'll ask for a motion, please.
So moved.
I second.
Moved by Councillor Campbell, seconded by Councillor Wand. All those in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Contrary minded, motion carried unanimously. Thank you. So move on to correspondence. 5A is Pittsburgh County Transit Authority.
For council's information, if they have any questions.
No questions, but I'm getting positive comment from the general public. One of the nurses at the hospital at the drug dependency, she said it's very helpful to their clients because a lot of them, you have to take drugs when they're over there and they can't drive their own vehicles. She'd like to have a bus in Trenton.
Thank you.
Your worship, how is the ridership? Is it increasing every year?
The ridership's very good. It is increasing month over month even. Like, compared to this time last year, it's about 50% more busy. So the ridership is better than we expected, actually. The drug dependency unit, we have a CHIT program. For nonprofits, we provide a pass, and that's what they're using. So we're happy to partner with them on that. And we're looking at possibly adding overlay approach, it's called, for other towns. So that's what we're exploring right now. So it's going well so far. Good. Good to hear. Yeah, thank you. Move on to 5B, Nova Scotia Power.
Yes, the mayor received correspondence from Peter Gregg, who is the president and CEO of Nova Scotia Power, regarding the impact of Bill 212, amending the Public Utilities Act. There's no question that this is a hard time for many Nova Scotians. Costs are up across the board for people, but we know that people want their power to be always on, a strong grid to withstand frequent storms, and a plan to fight climate change. Their general rate application was Nova Scotia Power's first non-fuel rate increase in 10 years. Over 90% of the application was for the direct purpose of improving reliability and continuing the work that we are doing with many of you to decarbonize our grid and meet government's 2030 climate goals. By reducing the rate increase to 1.8% over a 3-year period as opposed to the requested 2.8% annual increase, this bill, if passed, will create real and long-lasting consequences, restricting on or effectively canceling new investments in system reliability, the level of storm response we can conduct to protect the system from severe storms, and the government's 2030 environmental goals and decarbonization initiatives. So he's writing to inform us because our voice is important in this conversation. He would welcome questions, feedback, and ideas, and you can also reach out to the provincial government too. He also attached some facts and impacts of Bill 212 that he delivered to the Provincial Law Amendments Committee on Monday, November the 7th, I believe it was, for council's information.
Thank you. We'll move on to 5C, CCRCE.
Yes, council may have noticed that they had some cards in their mailboxes from CCRCE regarding international students. So they're asking, they're excited to welcome international students back to Pictou County High Schools. They had 32 students here to start the semester, but they had to turn people away because they didn't have enough host families. Host families do receive a tax-free stipend of $725 per month per student to help set off some of the costs of hosting. So if council encounters families that may have an extra room or two in their home, please consider sharing their contact information with those families.
Great, thank you. Okay, we'll move on to item 6, Committee of the Whole report.
The following recommendations are for council's consideration from correspondence received from the last committee meeting. On recommendation of Committee of the Whole, council approved $1,900 to participate in the Climate Change Summit with the Town of New Glasgow and the AIM Network. Recommendation number 2, on recommendation of Committee of the Whole, council approved the salt haul tender in the amount of $14.90 per ton from DG Sons Trucking Limited, as it was the lowest tender received. And number 3, council sign on and as an endorser of the Coalition for Healthy School Food.
We discussed this at length at Committee of the Whole a few weeks ago. Could I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Seconded.
Moved by Deputy Mayor Knight, seconded by Councillor Campbell. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Contrary minded, motion carried unanimously. Thank you. Item 7, dangerous and unsightly motion.
As per the public hearing that was held today at 5 PM, the motion on the floor, demolish the existing dilapidated structure within 30 days and/or submit a structural report by an engineer licensed to practice in Nova Scotia with all remediated work outlined in said report by December 14th, 2022, and all repairs identified in the report to be corrected within 60 days of the date of this order.
So move.
I second.
Moved by Councillor Pence, seconded by Councillor Wand. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Contrary minded, motion carried and answered. Thank you. We'll move on to item 8, another dangerous and unsightly motion 137, 139 Maple Street.
As per the public hearing that was held today at 5 PM, the motion on the floor for council's consideration is to demolish the existing dilapidated structure within 30 days and/or submit a structural report by an engineer licensed to practice in Nova Scotia with all remediated work outlined in said report by December 14th, 2022, and all repairs identified in the report to be corrected within 60 days of the date of this order.
So moved.
I second.
Moved by Deputy Mayor Knight, seconded by Councillor Wand. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Contrary minded, motion carried and answered. Thank you. Item 9, dangerous and unsightly motion 339 South 4th Street.
Council, the motion on the floor is to demolish the existing dilapidated structure as per the consent agreement that was signed in May of 2022.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Deputy Mayor Knight, seconded by Councillor Pence. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Contrary minded, motion carried and answered. Thank you. We'll move on to item 10, town-owned trees.
Yes, Your Worship, to speak on that. I had several calls from the residents, and I see, as discussed, we've discussed this before, and I brought it up last council. There's trees that right now have fallen or partially fallen. They're in danger of taking out people's properties. I think you spoke with the minister, and there could be money there for us. So I feel that we should take those trees down, whatever means Blaine has, whether it's on our own or contracting. Of course, there's other trees there that have fallen, but they're of no danger, and they can be either taken out in future. And there are trees there that are on the tree line that will be future problems. I feel that we should put that in next year's budget to have them removed. But right now, if there's that many trees, there's a few that are in a dangerous position. But I think Blaine needs an order from the council in order to do that. So I'd like to make a motion on that.
What's the motion?
The motion is to trees that now have fallen or are within danger of destroying or damaging properties be taken out. Structures that be taken out. And then in future, we need a plan for budgeted for our next on our next budget to have those that have fallen or those that are a potential hazard of falling and causing damage.
Okay, do we have a seconder for that? We don't have a seconder. The motion dies. We will definitely discuss at budget time. In the meantime, is there trees hanging over structures that we know of right now?
So the town engineer is doing up a priority list and costing for council's consideration, which will be presented at Committee of the Whole in November. And council will then direct the town staff on what priorities they feel, with recommendation from the town engineer.
So that's in 2 weeks' time, the Committee of the Whole meeting? Okay. It's definitely an issue.
It's an issue we're going to have to deal with somewhere. One of the things is that when we talk to the citizens, and we always tell them, is it on your property or our property? Okay, we always say, if it's on our property, we'll deal with it. If it's on your property, it's your issue, right? So these trees are on our property that are presenting a challenge or a danger to the property owner.
Okay, thank you. So I guess we'll move on to item 11, open forum. Does anyone like to speak at the open forum? Sure.
You have to come up here and identify yourself and speak into the mic.
So I'm Alicia James.
Yeah, Lisa? Yeah? Yeah, have a seat there.
No, I just had a question about the town bell. I'm in the apartment 247, just right across here. I was just wondering, because it's kind of been keeping me up a little bit, and I was wondering if there's a way it can just be on a timer or that it won't go off all night.
It's a good question. We've been talking about that clock a lot recently.
So I'm glad it's not just me.
This is the first complaint we had about the chiming of it, but it is due for repairs. We're looking at investing a pretty significant amount of money into it. So as part of that process, we'll definitely check into whether or not there's ability to turn it off the chiming from like 11, whatever our noise bylaw is probably. Yeah, so 11 to 5 or something like that probably would be something. So
I figured it'd be.
thank you for bringing it to our attention.
Yep,
Because it's a good timing to bring it to our attention. Like I said, we're going the process of revitalizing it right now. So we'll definitely take it into consideration when we do the work.
Great.
Okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for coming tonight.
Yes, thank you.
Appreciate it.
All right.
Okay, the next council meeting is Monday, December 12th, 2022, 5:30 PM here at the council chambers. And I'd ask for a motion to adjourn, please.
So moved.
Thank you, Councillor